Hello, Tubies. Uh, October is upon us, fast upon us, and now we must prepare for Samhain, the most favorite holiday of all the witches, you see. Uh, Reason for that, it's the high holy day of the year, one of the high holy days of the year, one of the major Sabbats. In a lot of traditions, it's the end of the wheel of the year and the beginning of the new wheel. Uh, In craft, we inundate ourselves with this concept to remind us of a few things. When something ends, something begins immediately upon it. That explains our philosophy of God, our philosophy of death, reincarnation, on and on. We have these repeating philosophies that we inundate ourselves with so we get the message. So uh, that's the new year. Samhain is the spoke of the new year. Quite often you hear a lot of witches running around going, Happy New Year! Because we start our year with the dark months and we work our way toward the light. It's a positive, uplifting kind of faith that way. It's always getting lighter from the start. It starts in the darkest possible part. Of course, we just got summer here in California, so it's not going to be too dark and spooky, and definitely no snow. But at any rate, it's definitely winter for a lot of people. Start of the dark months, the season of the dead, and that's the biggest thing that we all have in common. This is the not the only holiday, but the big holiday where it's all about our ancestors, the dead, those that have gone before, and paying them proper respect. Uh, ours, our religion and the variants of our religion are, of course, not the only ones to do that. Everybody had a paganism, everybody had a craft in their culture, and so in every culture you'll find the remnants of their pagan culture still doing something around that time. Um, in South America and Mexico, the Day of the Dead, I think, is November 1st. Uh, that's important. It's kind of a lost thing. The old holidays tended to be twofold. There tended to be an eve holiday and a day. So if you look around, quite often you'll see Samhain called November's Eve. That's some people that remembered it. It wasn't just Samhain. Really, it was the second, the half a second after midnight was the holy time. The time between the veils, the time between things, time between one day and another, 1 year and another. That's always a holy, magical time and a spot to be in. So November 1st absolutely was part of the holiday that went with October 31st, Samhain. Now, a lot of bagging on the Catholics and religions such as ours, and I understand it. I understand it. We got a lot to bitch about historically, especially when we talk about our ancestors, because our ancestors are the ones that were wronged so bad by the Catholics. But what my clear vision has been able to remind people is that although the Catholic Church came along and tried to do away with us, kill us all, the Catholic Church was nice enough to provide a convenient place for paganism to survive, hidden all around the world. They provided a place to hide while they were killing us. And so we have the pure strains of paganism all over the world. They look very much like Catholicism, just really heavy on the saints and the statues and the trinkets and the candles and like in the strega, the olive oil. They're working way more with the angels than ever calling upon Jesus, doing a hell of a lot of Hail Marys. Um, People were able to hide within the Catholic Church while being persecuted. So at some point, our people just kind of hid right under their noses, and it seemed to happen all over the place. You could see it really heavy in Ireland, see it really heavy in Italy, pretty much any place that the Catholic Church had a seat. There's paganism that survived. Several strains of South American paganism. Um, like Santeria, very, very pagan Catholicism. Pagan Catholicism. It's hard to say that too many times fast. Um, so thank you. Thank you, Catholics. And thank you also for making your own version of the holiday just to keep it alive. They have All Saints Day. They're only going to remember the dead saints, I guess. But whatever. They're still they're mimicking us, and they don't really remember that they're doing that anymore. This one I always like to remind people about, because some witches are really hardcore about about a lot of things. But this time of year, I know several witches that will not take their kids trick-or-treating, or will not let their kids go trick-or-treating, so they don't want to dumb down the holiday for the kids, or they don't want to take away any of the sacredness of a holiday for the kids. And I understand that, but look at it this way. Our ancestors were devious in their ability to not be erased from the face of the planet, even though people were trying really hard to do that, trying to make them disappear. Like the Druids. The Druids were classic in weaving themselves into the fabric of society so it could never be removed. You can't sing old songs, old nursery rhymes, or fairy tales without covertly teaching your children Druidic lore. And that's how they made themselves never, ever, ever go away. And somehow, the children keep the old ways alive. And very much Halloween and trick-or-treating are twisted and plasticized versions of the old ways, but they have come down relatively intact. And what I'm talking about specifically is the dumb supper. The dumb supper is the most common practice within this holiday all around the world. Everybody that's celebrating the Day of the Dead tends to have a version of the Dumb Supper, and the Dumb Supper involves leaving food and drink out for your ancestors, for the dead. Some places you leave one plate of food out, and that somehow feeds all your dead, feeds all your ancestors, so it's very economical. Some places you would, hold on, I'm at 7 minutes, I gotta answer the phone, I'll be right back. So like I was saying, the Dumb Supper. All around the world they practice this. The idea was that the veils between the worlds are so thin on that night that your ancestors want to come check on their offspring, see how they're doing. They're very connected to you by bloodline, DNA, stuff like that. So they know where you are. They're going to come visit. They expect a certain respect. And we see this really very clearly in Ireland, other countries too, but Ireland was hardcore with the respect that you had to show to wandering individuals showing up at your doorstep. Because quite often they were gods or bards or druids, and if you wronged them, you were screwed forever. So showing respect to just random transients at your doorway, especially on this night, because the idea was that your ancestors came back to see you. They expected a certain amount of respect, an offering of, usually food and drink. Burnt offerings, of course, have always been done for the dead. Turning that food into smoke makes it easier for them to digest. I don't know. But at any rate, so they go to your door expecting an offering. If they don't get it, traditionally, then you were marked to be messed with. Since they were your ancestors, they wouldn't totally just become demons and devour you, but they would tend to be like poltergeists and go around your house hiding the keys to your chariot or something. I don't know. They'd mess with you. And somehow, this little twisted idea trickles down through all our plasticisms over the years and becomes trick-or-treat. Children dressing as dead people, wandering the streets in search of offerings, of treats, of food. And in the old days, the kids remembered the second half of the ritual. And maybe I shouldn't even mention it, but we're talking history here. In my day, they remembered it. I don't know if my kid remembers it, but there was something that went along with it. If you had a pumpkin out, if your porch light was on, if you were home, you didn't answer the door, you didn't kick down a treat, you didn't leave treats out on the doorstep for the kids, they were responsible for the second part of the ritual, the trick. The bag of dog poop on your doorstep lit on fire, egging your house, toilet papering your house, this kind of thing. That was part of their responsibility. And so as twisted as all that is, these are the remnants of the old things, and they're so partially intact that I think it's a great thing, because you've got Christians and well, not all of them. They won't let their kids participate in the devil's holiday. They got these people of all these faiths to this day enacting a very modernized version of a pagan practice, old as the dirt. And I say, that's beautiful. I love the fact I can hear our ancestors snickering in their graves. They thought they killed us. They thought they removed us from the face of the planet. Oh, how stupid. They didn't remove anything. They adopted all the policies, all the practices of the old religions, to the point where they don't even know it. The Catholic Church is where to learn some really serious, deep old paganism. They were nice enough to steal all our books, not burn them, keep them, rather than some other religions. And at any rate, I wanted to throw that out. So remember the dumb supper this Samhain. See, I messed myself up saying Halloween. I only said that so you'd understand the trick or treat part, but now it's screwing with me. So Samhain, remember your dumb supper, and remember your ancestors, and have a good Samhain, y'all. Happy fucking New Year.